Beautiful people, I am SharlotChi. Today I'm gonna bring to a video I deem very, very important if you want to stay till the end, because it will raise not only your awareness, it will change your psychology, your philosophy about life, about moving forward, because we are right here in the midst of huge changes on the planet. We actually recreating the planet and recreating everything within creation, which is so divine, which is so pure and requires a huge amount of respect and humility. Most, didn't even think about, which I understand. We are all divine beings, and please do not connect the word divine to anything religious, to, whatever you may have heard. The word divine, divine being, eternal being is purely connected to gold. Your golden measurements, mathematics, geometric patterns, your light in the body, your meditational setup, these are measurements. May be difficult to understand right now, but I will explain, because it's very important from what I've heard and seen in the past weeks. If you want to move forward and truly move up the ladder of ascension and being done with the old earth, then that may be important for you. So let me know if you meditate, if you work with raising your light body up the ladder of many dimensions and in many other realms already. Or let me know just what you do, because I deem every single second and every single human very, very important, because we all contribute to the next level of creation. As we know, huge changes need to happen. The planet is purifying. We can purify with it and raise that vibration. So here, shoot a comment and let me know, what is your meditation about? Do you work with colors? Do you change your consciousness with colors? Do you work with the origin of creation, which I will definitely explain in more detail so you can understand, as the entire universe is a huge network of crystalline grids that have been would break our brains, like I've witnessed, like so many let's say commentary on science bringing through the blocking of the sun. Let me tell you one thing: there is no such thing as interfering with the divine, because the divine sources and forces right now are on the planet and reason for the huge changes. Every master, every angelic kingdom, they're all here. It's up to us, and we can, because the technology is there, to connect with them, to see them crystal clear, as you can see me, because that is important. And so don't dig into that, because blocking the sun, can you imagine? Everything is photosynthesis. The herbs, the trees, the flowers are food or nutrition. The air, the water, fire composition is all fueled by our home, the great central sun. It's our home. The great central system has changed throughout the Milky Way, rising throughout many galaxies, which I offer. So from meditation in a simple light body, which I offer, and opening up the alchemy is very, very important, and moving beyond that is even more important, because evolution change that we need to move with it in order to not stay stagnant, actually. And I see too many people staying stuck in the old world due to not upgrading their crystalline grid composition, to not upgrading their home with their crystals, to not upgrading with what is available as a meditational upgrade throughout dimensions and galaxies. That is, in the first place, working with your own creation. And your own creation is a simple master seed cell derived from the great central sun, in order to transport that master seed cell, also termed your spark, in the universe, to reconnect with a vast volume of grid networks. And then life becomes interesting, and then you start to understand a geometric pattern, a platonic solid, because from these platonic solids, codes are being derived. And I channel codes massively, as I am a genetic encoder. And so the physics and let's say the science that comes through numerology, that comes to the power of the word, that is so divine, because everything came into existence with the power of the word, the fire Hebrew letters. And that is trusting it, and thus, you know, our level of faith upgrades, or level of trust upgrades in the way we work with it, having a light body and working with that light body as an initial creator all the way into the celestial body is a foundation. That foundation needs to move immediately into the celestial universal bodies that were recreated to have access to the ascension process right now. A celestial body cannot do it. It needs the celestial upgrade, in which we continuously work with the divine sources and forces, in which we continuously replace our meditation or work with parallel universes, parallel light realms that fuse with our energy. And that is the moment where you start to feel the vortexes of light, the wheel of light. You know, these songs about wheels within wheels. I think it was Dusty Springfield that created that song, Wheels Within Wheels. Very important song, because the universe is made of the power of the word. That is the first creation, opening sound, and so recreating with sound in crystalline grids. That is opening up the higher level body. So here is the first explanation, a little bit about creation, how important the crystalline grids are in order to upgrade your awareness, you know, in the first place through the first 12 dimensions, and then into the beyond, what starts off in the light realms. And that comes with the opening into the series I offer as well, that are the Rise and Vibe series, and my new series, Your Upgrades, with the elements that matter most, because they create the bridge into living light. So here you have a first view on the power of the word. That is first creation, opening to your individual word of power that has been installed to our throat. If we look back at creation, we see, we know, we feel that in the beginning, everything that came into creation was the word. And so the Hebrew fire letters are from the first creation, opening up the fire through the word, creating the opening into opening up to the origin of the crystalline networks, crystalline grids that overriding the matrix, because it's the opening into the living light patterns, the golden age opening up from the golden staff opening up all the way into the eye of the divine, the golden eye, the golden age, the golden patterns, the golden crystallization that is actually connected to the golden axis position. So if you go back here to the reference, like in Egypt, there's many scriptures on the walls, even crystalline grids, mostly in diagonal fashion, format, whatever you deem appropriate. But what we see essentially is these deities all have, you know, the head of an animal. It's not that they want to transform into an animal, but the most important thing here to mention is that they connected to upgrade their intelligence with, you know, an appropriate animal, and their connection and communication through telepathic and many radio waves that we are connecting to right now, at least that is what I teach, give them back or move them back with the correct instruction. And so with those intelligences from the animal kingdoms and their wisdom and their knowledge, they actually opened up certain geometrical patterns. And me, myself, as I said in the explanation here, once upon a time, just, you know, I was so far in meditation, I must say, pardon me, I was working on my bridge of light. That is the gate into knowledge. That is the gate into the emerald tablets. And opening that up, I suddenly, you know, moved myself in a dodecahedron. It was just in front of me. And then I said, gee, what do I need to do with it? It was crystalline green dodecahedron. And I said, just open one of those doors, because a dodecahedron has many doors on it. So I opened it up and I said, with this, you can apply the power of the word to get you in that particular station of the universe, to get your next level of education. I said, whoa, and I went, and I mean, that was quite a ride, and I gained knowledge about certain C's, and I got designs too, because the most important thing about sacred geometry is not to study them, it's not, you know, to just imagine yourself in some of those geometrical patterns. Instead, that is not a necessity, because they arrive when the time is divine. That's all there is to it. So for me, that one particular time was divinely timed, and so I worked with it. But what they say, as this is the age of alchemy, let me know if you work with codes, or if you have anything to add to the sacred geometrical pattern, let me know. And thank you so much for being with me, subscribing to my channel, as I will upgrade it every week and bring through important information to raise your vibration out of the old muddy streets of the old world into the vibrancy of divine illumination, actually. And that is what they say, is that I received many codes, such as this one for the Great Central Sun, the new patterns coming through. And these codes arrive from a sacred geometrical pattern. So quite naturally, the yellow is connected to the Great Central Sun. I was opening the Great Central Sun in many parts in my body. Not particularly in the brain, but that was my particular study, and that design came true, and I was like a seashell turning vortexes up and up, gave me new information with the Caribbean Sea, what I needed to do in the Caribbean, and that was so crystal clear. I started to communicate with elements, because my word of power, I've been working with it for months, and you know, and the communication was there. And so you see that these deities, like for example in Egypt with their animal heads, actually created that knowledge and everything to open up what is termed measurements of light, divine, eternal measurements. So if ever you open up the first supreme light, eternal grid measurements that are planted all over the earth, always call forth your particular measurement. Even if you don't understand it, it's actually, I didn't understand it for 20 years. I understand it right now. Measurements, it's like we have an automatic mathematical calculator in the cerebellum, in the back of our brain here. And the smaller brain that, you know, that is actually more or less like an automatic pilot that directs when you need to eat, when you need to go to the toilet, when, you know, those automatic things, when you need to go downstairs or something, you need to walk. So that is commanding the neurons to perform that task. And thus, when connected in a crystalline grid format, actually, and you call for it, you invite your eternal measures within the grid. That's all you need to do. Breathe it through, and it will be in your first crystalline grid. You call for it. Start off with the home-based crystalline grid system, and by saying, I'm one with the crystalline grid, my home-based grid, my foundation in light body, and also I invite supreme light, eternal measurements. Then you're good to go. That's all you need to do. It's all connected to gold. It's the golden age. We are the gold eternal beings. Then you have the omnipotent black universe, a great team, and the aquamarine team for the grounding, the waters, the elements, and everything rising. Because like Moses said, we are definitely destined to walk on water and separate the waters as well, which is already happening. The separation between the very, very extreme monstrous worlds and the living light worlds has already been said. So it's a matter of connecting to your choice, and choices can be made and remade every day. So it's actually what they did there. If we see at those scriptures with their animal heads, they all carry a staff. That staff is also what I teach in my series, The Elements. Opening up because it needs a lot of understanding, that is having a light body foundation with all 12 universes in it, and a new light body connected to the new tree of life with all the 22 gates, offers the education into the golden eternal being that opens up like from the original seed of this earth, connected to your original seed. Your spark self still exists and is anchored in the oceans and in a particular place on the globe. And with that opening up, that opens up like it's fire vortexes through the oceans, opening up the rod of power with actually what we see, that golden template around the heads of deities that is actually also connected to you as an eternal being. And that opens up when you reside in divinity, connected to the original seed. And that's all in the golden measurements, opening up the eternal staff of light, opening up the golden flower of power, the flower of life reinstalled in your body, opens up the power of light. And that are actually, so these golden wings are actually wings of power that can only be achieved by those rising their ascension into the living light realms and continuously balance out, delete the old world that has no harmony, that has diseases, that is, I mean, I don't need to talk about it. We all have our terms, or we're not listening to the divine. You open that up, and then that these wings of power open the flower of power, the flower of power open up further in the heart. And so it is a necessity that all the chakra system created by the matrix to keep you in captivity is being replaced by the pillar of light in the heart and the high heart, which I offer also in a foundational mastery and alchemy course. So, and working from that pillar of light that connects heaven and earth, that interconnects your eternal measures. Here, a measurement is everything connected to eternal. Eternal is gold, and so there's many particles that will open up, because from then on, the missing link with most Titans, or not willing to move into that, is the transcendence from the old cellular construction, quite obviously into light particles, as we've seen in, and these light particles connect to light waves and light particles together create crystal grids. These crystal grids connect and open up to your next level of geometric pattern, or you get the codes that are connected to a pattern. And you don't always need to know that. You don't have to know. What is important is getting designs through, designs that are connected to your individual sources and forces. And here, that is the reason why it's so important to reconnect definitely with the elements, and to upgrade your light body, your ascension, with the elements in the celestial universal bodies, because it would reconnect everything and it will assist you to navigate. And so as we are all opening up that pillar of light that has all the worlds of all the different parts in the body in it, like, let's say, the former root would be termed Paradise Manifest. The sacral would be termed the Living Light Gardens. If you are in Paradise Manifest, you wouldn't have any problematic static, any financial problems, anything not. The Living Light Gardens open up the pure nutrition, living on light nutrition, but also the next level in bringing nutrients in the body to what is available on the earth, and recreating with new nutrition on the earth, because it's a necessity. The old foods will no longer be able to sustain a light body because it's so much off. But as we are starting to purify, and you always connect to the divine axis position. So as we've seen, we created the triangle or tetrahedron, and in it is an axis. In each platonic solid is an axis. In your body you have an axis, and that is so important. Just connecting to the crystalline grids, connecting to the meridians that open up, the acupuncture points, and many meridians into the beyond. That is huge training, because in combination with ley lines and many other crystalline grids connected to the opening of higher level of consciousness, connected to the opening of the word of power. The word of power merely means what you say is a command, because the divine has been given you the power of the word, as you have clarified and purified your light body enough to enable, to command and bring manifestation to, like, you know, in seconds, and have no thought about it, because that is the power, like, you know, parting the waters. That is the power, like having an idea, even starting off with simple ideas, but we must have a purified light body, and upgrading that at least, where we feel the energies moving, where we can command our own energies to be deleted, and so the divine can add new energies in it that are measurements, such as code. A code is always a measurement, so I guess I was more than in alignment all of the time. I receive many codes, always connected to something in upgrades which I offer to people. Now, reason for this video on the other side, I know many people are connected to crystals. I wear crystals, you know, day in, day out, but then the thing I have seen made this video very important. Like, you know, I do go into homes and reset the homes in some sort of feng shui, but also set all the crystals anyone may have in the appropriate crystalline grid. And so there's one thing I want to say here is like, I see so many beautiful people having, you know, huge crystals in the home, piling them up in a cupboard to which they cannot even breathe. So a very important thing here to understand, if you have that, then please take the time to set your crystals in a particular grid. Do know, like, you know, you understand that, you know, there's people with which you resonate and have good conversations with and can make friends with, etc. But there's people you will never resonate with, you know. You'd rather go for a walk than talk to these people. Same goes with crystals. They need their appropriate mates in order to create a grid, in order to create more illumination in the home. And so if you have a home, then there's crystals that need to be set in the garden, there's crystals in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in dining room, whatever you may have. And all opening up massive volumes of information when they're being placed in a particular grid. And that is so important, so they do not suffocate. And then, you know, people that pack their crystals together, not thinking about which kind of, each crystal carries consciousness. So it's very important to understand that not every crystal matches the other crystal. I cannot wear just, you know, random crystals. I mean, that would cut my consciousness into pieces. I really have to think, and most of the time I work 1 month with like 3, 4, 5 grids, and then upgrade to the next crystalline grid and upgrade to the next crystals with it. And when you have static and never change and move your crystals in a crystal grid in the home, then you cannot expect your body to upgrade. So that is very important to understand. Like today I started new alignments with the divine, with the elements, opening up to the next level of crystalline embodiment, because we are the age in which we start to crystallize our body. We need that consciousness. We need to work with the elements that will perform that task. So I'm being asked to reset a few grids in my sleep room, my bedroom. Sorry. And, you know, the place I work, I needed to reset a new grid, you know, under the chair to which I meditate. So because these vortexes come through that, so let's say at least once a month I change them. So not all around the house, but most. So it's very important to think about what you can do to reset your crystals, because the energy will change massively. That is one thing. Another thing most people do not know, like, we all have children, right? And we care for children. My children are crystals. I have one son, but do know he gets a crystalline grid, you know, every 3 weeks, another one. I just, you know, you could put a photograph on, place a particular grid, what your particular child needs. Move the energies through like no more than 5 minutes a day. That's not too much to ask to upgrade your children, to get them in a better position. I mean, children are the heart of your heart, right? They matter. That's the same goes for animals. You know, I used to have dogs all of the time. My last one went away. He was 18. I made him transition very easily on the other side, and I'm still in communication with him, which is quite the obvious. But then if you have 1 or 2 children, even 3 or more, place a crystal grid for each of your children. And the entire energy in the house changes, because that will change your consciousness, and you would be more at ease and grace with your children, which you want as well. So here the message is truly, if we want to move on with recreating the planet and recreating the self, actually, that is the movement into the crystallization of the body. And that can only be done by being in command with the living light sources and forces, that is your word of power, working with a particular crystalline grid, because the crystalline grid bring through the power of radio waves. And when opening up the, your particular radio wave connected to a particular way, if I work, let's say, the amethyst ray, I definitely call for it in amethyst from many countries. I definitely call for it the radio wave connected to the amethyst ray, and open that up in my brain. And then you need a light body foundation, opening up the capstone, that is the celestial body, in order to be in the grace of being allowed to open up radio waves. Radio waves need to work with your spark, the origin of your spark that moves from the head to the heart and so forth, depending on your leveling up. So that's different for a body just setting up foundation, a body that moves celestial, universal, and then in the house of light, then the spark, changes. And it's your spark self that actually receive that data, and that talks wild. So that is, here I'm just merely talking, but you can all do it, yet you need to know how to do it. So setting up a light body, going celestial, celestial, moving into the Rise and Vibe series that opens these universal embodiments, and then working with all the elements, then your life changes every day, actually every day. And then we know exactly what to do. Many times, people say like, yeah, I understand. I do understand, if we have crystals all over the place and you need to clean up your house, that takes a lot of work. One thing you need to know, if you're planning to set your crystals in crystalline grids in the houses, they will hardly take any dust. Because if you're in such a high vibration with the divine, in divine consciousness, and polishing your brain, your consciousness, your anatomy, your organism all of the time with or in connection with the divine axis, then you will see they hardly take any dust. And then again, it may take no more than 15 minutes a week, and just sweep through them, or blow some eternal air through it and upgrade your breath from the breath of source in the eternal breathing system all the way into the immortal breathing system. So these are the most important upgrades one can do in order to allow such a geometric pattern to come through. And they are not a necessity. Nothing is, if you know that they're there and they open up to the grids, that's enough. The most important thing for you to really move on is the receival or the reception of light codes. So you can work with my light codes if you want to do that. They work very, very fast. You know, eliminating dense negative consciousness diseases. Everything these days is being done through these light codes that are actually geometric measurements, and these geometric measurements have huge divine power, and thus even a number has divine power. If you receive a number 777888, apply it. Ask how to apply a number, because you know they change all the time as well. And so life becomes very interesting if we start resetting our grids in the home. Or yeah, I specialize in it because I know, you know, I remember when I was 12 years old, somebody told me, you have such a huge knowledge about how to combine colors and crystals. It's just, you know, it's innate, it's in my body. When I come into a home, I said, you know, I go wild and I reset until the energies are perfect. And with it comes the elimination of very old stuff. So there's a lot of homes that need to work on the elimination and really letting go of things you no longer apply, you no longer use. If you have a ton of books you never look in or you never read again, you know, get rid of them. You know, if you have tons of old materials in the kitchen you never apply, let go. These are all, you know, they bring to actually stuck patterns in your life and reason for not moving forward at times, because they keep you from moving. You cannot expect the divine to assist your light upgrades in light embodiment to move on when you you know, don't remove the attachment to old stuff. So it's a matter just of subtracting, and so the divine can add subtract with light codes, subtract with consciousness within the 22 ways, apply 2 or 3 ways at once. That is, you know, the movement out of duality in to the true meaning of life. And then you can really work with the fire letters, the Hebrew, which are also in the foundational setup, self-mastery down. And then you can work all upon the eye of the divine, you know, the immortal eye and the eternal eye. And there's so many eyes from the 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, you know, it's a never-ending process. Then again, every master on the planet continuously upgrades their light as well. The angelic kingdom continuously upgrade their light, continuously open up new creation. They offered us so many new creations, such as the celestial body, to get us faster into ascension. Yet hardly anyone applies it because, you know, sometimes we have too many excuses, like no time, the laziness, delete, no time, delete, no laziness, and whatever you may struggle with. Delete every and any excuse, because setting up grids in the home and deleting, like, yeah, I need to clean it up. Think in terms like, what is more important, your upgrade or cleaning the crystals? Clean your crystals like once a month in the home for 15 minutes, and you know, just that's enough. You don't need to do it once a week like you would clean everything else in the home or so. They definitely don't need that. And then maybe have a small grouping or crystal grid in a cupboard, or 2 or 3 grids, and then you will see everything reset. Because also oftentimes when we have huge crystals in the home and they're being set in a certain place, well, they need a complete different place. That immediately changes every possible energy. So I hope this video clarifies a bit for you. If you have any questions, just shoot, let me know. You know, even, you know, if you struggle with something, I will make a video. But, you know, communication is important. So thank you so much for those leaving me a comment. Thank you for being with me, and see you happily in the next video. Enjoy your week. Thank you so much. I'm SharlotChi.